Soul Garden.
Hello producers, and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Edition. My name is Christopher Witecki. Well, when I last left the producers of the Zodiac, the rulers of I Manifest, Taurus is our natural born manifestors, and the sole intention of I Manifest, which every soul on the planet has, well, that is all orchestrated and kind of coordinated by the Taurus race. You're the masters of manifestation. And when we left, the sun was in your opposite sign of Scorpio. Scorpio being how you give and receive, the laws of relationships. Now, this particular Scorpio period was an intense one. I know many Tauruses that cut and run from long-term relationships and intend to stay there. And that's because it's a long time building now. With Saturn in Libra, since the end of 2009, Taurus have been trying to get their lifestyle in order. Tauruses like to live a Buddha lifestyle. Tauruses are very calm. They like to stay calm and one in the moment. But that Om, staying in that Om and that peace and being happy with your moment requires a lot of boundary issues and laws with relationships. Because you are manifestors, because you invest in people growing, things growing, businesses growing, you often forget about your growing. You cut yourself short. So with the sun in Scorpio, there were a lot of heavy, deep decisions that you had to make with yourself, how you're going to relate to yourself, and what you allow and not allow from other people and in long-term partnerships and marriage. It was deep, it was cutting, and this was a big one. This was a shift of a decade policy, all right? A very deep decade policy. So this isn't just this year you've learned. This is I finally learned, so to speak. So sun cut deep in Scorpio, Taurus is cut away to self-preserve, and that brought us to Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving, we had a solar eclipse in Sagittarius. What this was, I think the best way to describe it was, it'll be all right, from the sun. Because the sun in Sagittarius for Taurus is about where you draw your boundaries. Now you have a new policy change that's absolute with relationships, but the minute-by-minute management of who gets in and who doesn't, do they get that call, do they get your time, do you get your time? These are the microcosm boundary decisions that keep relationships from going wrong in the long term. You got to drill it down into the moment. And this is an area that Tauruses are not foreign to. From 95 until 2009, Tauruses had to look at their trust issues from the ground up. So you're introduced to every boundary, every door, every button, everywhere in reality that you can imagine. So you knew better. But how did you get there? So since Thanksgiving, a big boost of it'll be okay, don't worry, boundaries be taken care of. It's literally like feeling like you're watched over, and that was it. It was a big booster shot of confidence when it comes to trust and trusting yourself, but it wasn't fully true. It was setting a stage. Since Thanksgiving, the universe has been pointing out left and right where you made boundary decisions that were not good. You know, oh, I shouldn't have started there, I shouldn't have done that, perhaps I should have kept the door closed, I should not have taken that call, maybe this should have. I should have jumped on that opportunity, I should have dated her 20 years ago. I knew she was the one. Why didn't I trust myself? It's just that realization of where your boundaries have failed you. Your intentions were probably good. Everyone's is. But at the end of the day, it comes down to execution. So since Thanksgiving, looking at tit for tat, boundary for boundary, boundaries with yourself, boundaries with the world, what needs to change, what needs to go. That brings us to this week. We're in Decan 2, or Chapter 2 of Sun in Sagittarius. And this week, the Tauruses have got to figure out, all right, we know what boundaries need to change, but what boundaries should we set? What are our intentions here? What are the goals and the philosophies behind these boundaries, and where are we not seeing? And on Monday, if you're not seeing somewhere, you will see on Monday. You will see on Monday where boundary problems are existing. There will be a break breakdown, breakthrough energy on Monday. And the moon will still be in Aries, so it'll still be kind of inflating or emotionally expanding your faith issues. So having faith in yourself. So you might have to have faith in yourself on Monday, and you might recognize that, oh, I thought I could trust that person, but I couldn't. I thought I could trust myself, but I couldn't. Or on the flip side, oh, here's why I never could. So sometimes breakthrough is just the expansion of ignorance. Like suddenly, oh, you suddenly understand. So by Tuesday, feeling really good. If you're feeling icky Monday, don't worry, bull. Get to Tuesday. The moon moves into your sign, where it's sunny and cool on Tuesday, Wednesday, and most of Thursday. So it's a really good, productive week for the bulls. Having the moon in your sign is a reminder of this summer, when Jupiter went blazing through and then stopped at the end of summer, expanding Taurus's ego, giving you the strength to say no. That Jupiter in Taurus really inflated the ego. It inflated to where the ego will be, but probably make different decisions. No matter what the case is, you're feeling that summer vibe again with the moon in Taurus. And by Wednesday, the moon makes a grand trine. A grand trine, which I call a soul pyramid in Earth, which means after you make the learning and lessons, you will see shift immediately. Now, that moon runs from your ego down to your inner child, Mars in Virgo, and up to your belief structure with Venus in Capricorn. In essence, on Wednesday, we'll be with texting you. If you're watched over by the Guardian Agency, you're going to get a lot of texts on Monday and Wednesday, by the way, because these are sensitive days. But on Wednesday, it's really about finding that place in your heart, and then with Mars, aiming for what your inner child really wants. All right? The universe wants Taurus's dreams to come true. Mars stays in this until July, pushing for Taurus's personal dreams to come true, for Taurus to fall in love, for Taurus to have everything their hearts desired. You've done the work for this already when Saturn went through this space. It's about moving forward. What does it require? Well, Venus in Capricorn says, you want your dreams to come true? You want to feel strong like you did this summer? You gotta change the rules of giving and receiving when it comes to what you know or what you don't know. Maybe not assuming that you know stuff. Maybe assuming you know nothing. But really finding new space in your own belief structure. Being more flexible in your beliefs. Changing your beliefs to suit the times. This is super necessary. And I'll be reminding all the bulls through GA on that day. So a very powerful day. Then by Friday, the sun is ruled by Saturn and says to the bulls, all right, what do you think the right rules might be when it comes to trust? What the right rules might be when it comes for you to have an intimate relationship? What do you think it might be? You don't have to know for sure, but Saturn says, let's make some commitments of the direction. And of course, I'll be texting you on Friday saying, you know, let's decide, come on, decide on Friday who's in, who's out. Don't worry, you got a third deck in here to still work it out, but you want to be committed for the learning. So Friday, a decision time. But probably the most drama of the week is Saturn Day. We have a full moon in Gemini, not just a full moon, but a lunar eclipse where it lines up to a powerful degree. Now this full moon, Taurus, is going to make you feel fertile. The moon in Gemini is going to emotionally fill your soul capital, which is what you do best, I manifest. So your I manifest will be charged with passion. By the way, Saturday, great days to manifest. Put your heart behind a project or something. You really push it over the edge with this extra moon energy. But remember, a full moon is a wolf in sheep's clothing, gorgeous in the sky, but really breaking down the sun on the other side. What this comes down to is, hey Taurus, you want to manifest your dreams? You want to manifest all the material you want in life? You're going to have to make some boundary changes. The sun in Sag is saying, hey, you're going to have to say no to some people. You're going to have to say yes to some things that you weren't previously comfortable with just because you didn't want to face your fears, not because you weren't capable. And so you're going to have to really change what's comfortable and what's not. Really let go of some of those stable, stubborn Taurus attitudes about some boundaries and get to the nitty-gritty. Boundaries necessary for success, for personal dreams, etc. All their boundaries are up for discussion. So you'll be feeling full of yourself and potent on Saturday, but it's to let go of unneeded boundaries. You'll be inspired, if you will, emotionally. Great also potential day. Now, what the planets show on Saturday is you make the choice correct here, and Mars leaps forward. Mars in Virgo leaps forward. You'll have a breakthrough in your personal dreams. You'll have a breakthrough in opportunity. You will see immediate turnaround from the universe, given the monopoly of planets and how it's working around the Earth. So it's worth actually doing the work. I'm telling you, it's one of those times where you see universe in action, and of course, I'll be nagging you through GA. On Sunday, the moon shifts into Cancer, which can make you very pensive and in your head. Great day for a conversation. You'll be ruled by Taurus that day. The Earth will be singing your tune, so I think you'll be feeling pretty good. Sunday's a great day to go out, talk, shake hands, get things off your chest, or have an important conversation you've waited for, especially if you make the correct decisions for your heart and whatnot on the full moon. All right, Taurus, now if you're interested in your love life, well, that's a different show. I call it the Weekend Love and Lust Report. I'll have that up on Friday. If you're watched over by GA, I want to remind you, every reply you do to the agency gets forwarded to my cell phone, so I'm always reading reading your replies. And if you're not in either of those, well, I guess I'll see you in 7 days. So until then, live, love, be.